Well, hey, everybody, it's time for a little craft hour. Hey, I haven't seen you all in so long. I hope that you had a great end of summer, and I hope that you are heading right into your fall. Great holidays coming up. Have so much going on. Good afternoon, it's Jeff, and you're watching the Craft Hour here with Pink Fresh Studio. What a pleasure it is to see all of you and to have a great morning getting ready for you with our special guest and then heading into a great show. Roberta is here as always. We have Joan as well as Lynn. Inside Out Jeans. Inside Out Jeans, are you new to me? I've never said that on the show before. Christine Turner from Kentucky. And of course, Cheryl Espy, who always supports us. Welcome. We're so glad that you're here. It's the Craft Hour, and we haven't been on the show for some time. So it's really great to be back with you all, and more so with a special guest that I have had the opportunity to be friends with, both socially in person at Walt Disney World, but also at events. So it's so nice to be here. And of course, we couldn't do the show without our amazing moderator in the sky, Heather Hoffman, who will be moderating and watching in the comments to make sure that you are having a great time, because we want you to participate as much as possible. Speaking of participating, why don't you help us out? If you're new to the show, unlike Inside Out, who is not new, could you put an N? Put an N in the comments if you've never been here before. I'd love to know who is here and who is, new. And then if you're here for Kelly, give us a K. We want to know all about Kelly's fans and who is out there. Shari, my dear friend, hello. Good to see you. Barb K, I'm glad that you're here. Nikki, Shellbell, Lynn, like I said, also happy to have you join us. Welcome to the show. We're going to have a great afternoon doing a little bit of crafting, getting you ready for the weekend, and hopefully some of you are heading into a long break. Lynn, thanks for being new to the show. Christine, I appreciate you joining me. I'm Jeff Lindberg. You can find me on Instagram. I would love to connect with you. Laura's here for Kelly. We have so many people like Stacy Peterson who are both new and here for Kelly. Shell Bell, thank you for being here for Kelly and new. And I love a J from my dear friend. Hi. Hi, Doc. How are you? We have a new from Wendy. Wendy, you're glad you're here too. Welcome. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jeff. I'm one of the creative ambassadors for Pink Fresh Studio, and I host the Craft Hour found throughout the year here on the Pink Fresh Studio channel. So whether you're watching on a repeat live stream with us live or watching the replay, we so appreciate you being here. Donna, I'm glad you're new. Gloria, hi from Long Beach. I'm glad you're here as well. Well, I know that you're not just here for me. You want to get us to the crafting, so let's be sure to do it. Let's bring in our special guest. Kelly Taylor joins us. Kelly and I, again, have known each other, but we've never done a live together. So it's going to be nice to have her join. Good day, Kelly. Hi, friend. So glad to have you join us.
Thank you so much for having me.
What did you think when we thought we'd bring you on? You do lives normally. This is not new to you because your setup was very clear. You have done this before, right?
So I do lives for everyone else.
Okay.
Pretty much. I don't do them for myself. I do them for a bunch of other people I have been guesting doing the lives. So that part's really fun.
Yeah. It's always like going on a roller coaster, as some of you mentioned or saw me say in my own comment. The tech demons were trying to get us, but they did not today. We've won so far, which is good. Scrapbook.com is here. I hope that you all check out all the adventures over there. They're doing so much live content, and I'd love for you to support them. And of course, they support and are friends with Pink Fresh Studio. So we're so glad to have you here. So Kelly, remind us really quickly, where are we connecting from? Where are you right now?
I am just south of Cleveland, Ohio. So nice and chilly.
Nice and chilly. The winter has come. It'll be perfect for that Thanksgiving week. Awesome. And you are a proud mama and you're a proud wife. Tell everybody about that.
So I have a wonderful husband named Eric, and we have 2 kids. So my oldest is 9 and my youngest just turned 1 at the beginning of this month.
Oh, so you got little babes. You got a little babes you got to deal with. Awesome. This would be first Thanksgiving. Did you say 1? You said 1?
Yes. So first Thanksgiving. This is her second Thanksgiving, but she wasn't really aware of the first, and she couldn't eat any of the good stuff. So does that really count? I'm not sure.
Who knows? But it's going to be holiday season. Do you do any planning? Are you the host, or do you go somewhere?
So because both of us work in as first responders, up until this year, one or the other of us or both of us have always had to work on the holidays. So juggling the schedules of the families and then our schedules, like Thanksgiving could be on a Monday for us and our families. Like it just depends. Sure. So this year, actually, because now I'm crafting full time, and working part-time, I will be home for the holidays. And then my husband at the beginning of the year took a position in the detective bureau. And so he will also be home for the holidays. So this will be the first time that we're off for the holiday season together.
Well, good. That is awesome. But because first of all, the civic duty that both of you do is so respectable and so appreciated. Well, and I know that your city and your county appreciates all of that work, and that means missed holidays too on top of it. So enjoy every bit of it this Thursday and know that we so appreciate it. But creative outlets are the way to go. So why don't we get to some crafting? Can I put you in the waiting room and get you set up on your desktop, and you'll mute your other one? And I'll see you in just a second after I host some more. I'll be back with you in a minute.
Okay.
Everybody, you're watching the Craft Hour. I'm your host, Jeff Lindberg. So many of you are new. So glad that you're here. So many of you are commenting on what you're doing for Thanksgiving. I can't wait to find out more. Today is an exciting day because Pink Fresh Studio did something really cool. They named one of their alpha sets after me, and they sent it to me. And it's so weird to see your name on a product. And I'm super excited to show it to you. I'm also well known for saying the word friend. So when I meet you, I say, hey, friend, or friend, can I help you? Or I always throw the word friend around. So today we're combining my alpha with the word friend and some great products. So I can't wait to show those to you. Let's get Kelly back in the room. She's headed over to her desktop. We'll get her set up. I'll head to my desktop and we'll start making with some awesome products. Kelly, your camera shot is working great. How about your audio?
I can hear you perfectly fine.
Perfect. Well, we can hear you just as well. So Kelly, let's go over some of the products that we'll be using today. And I told them all about my alpha, which still is so crazy to me that there's an alpha with my name on it. That's super weird, but super exciting too. So let's head to the desktop, look at all the products that Kelly is looking for us to use. So we've got our ink pads, of course. We know that we're going to be using some greens, purples, blues, and a little bit of yellow, all because we are using a new product. Tell us about the new product, Kelly.
So in addition to you'll have to excuse my alphas because I just threw them back in here after I did my die cutting. So these are the alphas that we're going to be using. They're super cute. You did a good job. Very proud of you.
Thanks.
And then so then we're using the whimsical blooms. And this is the stamps and the stencils and the dies. We'll be using all three of them today. And then much to Jeff's upsetment, we're also going to be doing a little bit of coloring.
Uh-oh, don't panic, Jeff. Don't panic. I'll be using some Auhu markers that I got over the pandemic. So I'm excited to try them. Look at those colors that Kelly has picked out for us. So we're excited about those options. But we're simply accenting and showing that you can take the Pink Fresh inks and add just a little dimension by doing some accents. But most of our work, Kelly, today you're saying will be with these guys, the stencils they're known for, right?
So I have the panel that we pre-stamped. This is the whimsical blooms, the washi. So they all stamp together, and we're going to use every single one of these, which I'm super excited about.
Great. So I guess I should tape some stuff down, huh?
You tape yours? I just wing it.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna wing it too then. I'm not gonna be afraid. I'm gonna do this, Cal.
Well, I guess sometimes I use my magnets. So I guess it's the equivalent of taping, right?
Yeah, sure. All right. All right. Are we going with stencil number 1 first, which looks like a little bit of a stem?
Number 1.
Okay.
I'm gonna get my guys lined up here.
I should.
This is such a pretty set.
Yeah, it's a great set. Friends, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit on mine. Let me see. Let's go to a picture of my face really quick, and then let's see if I can zoom in. I think that will help just a little bit. Let's transition over to that. Did that work? That works a little bit better. All right. So line these guys up, and
And then I'm going to start with, what am I going to start with? What do I do with my little color palette? There it is. I think we're going to start with the aquamarine.
Okay. And again, then, we're starting with stencil 1, which is mostly stems or leaves. Okay.
So because Jeff is not a big fan of the coloring, I think we're going to change your mind by the end of it, though, buddy. I think that we're going to do it.
I'll do it. I'm ready to be persuaded. I am. Scrapbook.com. I'm using some of your tape. I get excited about that. All right. And what color did you want me to use?
I'm using aquamarine.
Okay.
But because you don't necessarily like the coloring, we're going to do a little bit of shading with our ink blending before we even get to the Copics. So aquamarine is just like our base color.
Kelly, where do you feel the most confident in your crafting? Are you color-based? Are you a colorist? Are you...
I'm definitely a colorist.
Okay. Where did you get that from? Were you an artist growing up, or?
So no, people actually have asked me this before about like any formal training or anything, and I have taken one art class in high school, of which I failed.
Oh my gosh. Okay. But you're not failing now. My goodness, you're very confident. So many companies use you. So that's so funny on the commentary of what the grade ended up being.
Yes. So we just didn't see things the same way, which is also why just in general, I'm not a huge proponent of grades. Like,
I love that.
As long as my kid's passing, I'm a happy camper. If he's doing the best that he can do, I'm calling that a win.
Great. So tell me really quick, we're going to keep the stencil on, or are we going to peel up? Do I leave it alone for a second?
Stencil on, and then we're going to go in with this tidal pond.
Okay.
And then we're kind of going to hold it at like an angle. So we're just using the side of it, and we're going to add just a little bit of blending to like the base where it's coming out from underneath the flowers. So we're going to keep the middle nice and light, but we're going to add some shading to where it's coming out from behind the flowers. And you should be able to see that. For this one, like this, I'm going to add a little bit of shading down here at the bottom of the leaves, and then again underneath the flowers. This is just going to help give us some more dimension without really having to do any more work.
Okay, I see. So those buds, if you will, and then any light shadows, okay?
Oh, and I moved my stencil, but that's okay because it's easy to line up. I guess this is why you tape, huh? So you don't
So gang, I'm watching the comments, and of course Kelly's moderating for us. I will tell you that this is the first time that I am a non-readied Saturday morning host for you all. I didn't shower. I brushed my teeth, so I don't have bad breath. This is the first time I've never been perfectly ready for you all. It was a crazy morning of technical drama. So, hey, this is what I look like. But it's a cozy day. It's a cozy, cold day here in Florida, even in Orlando.
But
all right,
so
I'm wrapping.
My girlfriend Dawn lives in Florida, and so we're moving the first stencil, and now we're going in with the second.
Okay, I'm going to peel that first one up. Perfect.
So my girlfriend Dawn lives in Florida, and we were talking, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, it's so cold. I'm freezing." And I was like, "Girl, what's the temperature there?" And she's like, "It's 62." And I was like, "When I took the kids to school today, it was 33 degrees." And she was like, "Yeah, you win."
You win. Yeah, you totally win.
So apparently you guys are in a cold snap.
Yeah, it is warming up as the day goes on. All right, so this stencil number 2 looks like it's very flower specific, right? If I'm looking at your...
Yes. So stencil number 2 looks like it's got a combination of both. So we've got some leaves here, and up top. So for these leaves, we're going to go in with meadow. I like a lot of color variation, Jeff. I'm a big fan.
Okay.
Oh, hi, Mindy. I didn't even see you sneak in here.
Oh, hi, Mindy. How are you? So glad that you're here. Welcome. Feels like Christmas here with the temps and snow, she says. All right, so I'm coming in with this. Is this a general ink blend on this meadow?
Yep, this is just our base layer, but you're gonna not do this part over here. This is a flower. And then this part over here, this is, I think it's a flower. Is it a flower? Let's look. Let's double check our stamp set. Sometimes I gotta do that. Nope, I think it's leaves. I think we're good.
Yeah, mine are all leaves. Yep, okay.
Just this one over here, I think. Or is that leaves up around the, it might be leaves up around the bud.
Let's leaves,
just do it all green.
It's leaves up around. Yeah, okay, we'll do all green. Debbie says that she lives in a desert and it's still cold to us. Our winters are like late spring, anything 60, and I'm grabbing her coat. I agree with you.
I think you just get thinner blood. Like if you live, like that's the, where you live all the time. Like it's just different. So Wendy, you made the comment that you tape the cardstock. Girl, you probably should. Don't. You ain't always got to do what I do. I just like to wing it. Jeff's very prepared. I'm over here like, I just do whatever I do and it come out how it come out.
I have to prepare because of all the technical stuff on top of all this. So
is that how you normally are when you craft? Like, do you
oh no. We're a big mess. We're a big mess when we're not crafting on the old show here.
That makes me feel better because I'm always a big mess.
Yeah. Hey everybody, it's craft hour. It's 1 o'clock. We're having a great time. Kelly joins us as a special guest. We're so glad to have you here. Remember, if you're new, hit us with an N. If you're here for Kelly, hit us with a K. Remember that our moderator in the sky, Heather, is looking for comments so that we can give away a gift card a little bit later. We're rocking some meadow right now and doing some leaves, and it's going to be a color saturated day. I'm listening. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Once you're done with that, then we're going to shade this with the Emerald City and the same thing. Where the base of the leaves come out, that's where we're going to add our shading.
Okay, great.
We're going to have a very varied, colorful card. And then for this large piece, I just kind of concentrate in the center and it just goes where it goes. And then we can move on to stencil number 3.
All right. Emerald City is finished, and I'm pulling up a stencil, you said, right?
Yep. Correct. Moving on to number 3.
All right, we have our first blooms, it looks like, in 3.
Yeah, very exciting. I love flowers. They're the best. Okay. So I think we're going to start with the sparkling rose.
Okay.
And for this one, I don't have an ink blender. I got to start a new one.
Does that stress you out? Are you?
No, well, they're just better when they're seasoned. You know how it goes.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's give Kelly's camera shot a little bit of love. I'm going to bop out here and let her show off just a little bit so you can see, which will happen when I stop talking. All right. Great.
So pretty. The bonus of also starting with the like a lighter color is for these ones where the centers are open, it'll be nice and easy to cover up with another color.
We should mention, of course, that this particular set also comes with a washi, so it makes it super easy if you don't have that confidence. Pink Fresh Studio has the washi collection that just laying those down on some paper, wrapping up that die cut and pulling them apart, it looks like you are a master colorist when really they did all the work for you. But Kelly and I decided that it would be a little bit of a boring show if we just cut up some washi and didn't do any hard work for you. So that's why we've got out blending tools, and we've got a good amount of time here to keep rocking and, of course, make some shadowing decisions on our own, which is good.
Ava, you walked the dog in 25-degree weather. You are a committed fur mama. God bless you. No, I got a fenced-in yard, girl, because you live in Ohio too. It's cold out here. We can't be walking no dogs.
All right, so I'm keeping this stencil down. Am I going to be shadowing with anything?
You are. So the next one we're going to go in with is bubblegum.
Okay. Great. Let's get you a double shot, everybody, so that y'all can kind of see both of us at the same time. This is some corner work accenting, correct? Where would you like the direction of these to go?
So for your little buds, you're going to go with the base. For these larger flowers, I would just pick whatever side you want to be darker and stick with that same side. So like I like with my shadows are down and to the left. So that's the way I'm going in. But all of mine will then be down and to the left.
Okay.
So you just go whatever side you like, just keep it consistent. Mindy, I think the alphas release on Monday.
Yeah, let's have it be the hottest selling thing that they've ever had. So Kinnery will want to use Jeff's name on everything. I don't know. It's just me saying. Still shocked. Okay. Great. So that's accenting. Let's see what else people are saying in the comments. Whimsical Blooms from our October washi release. Yes. Hi, Dee. So glad that you're here.
So now, before we move this, we're actually going to go in with a third color. We're going to go in with the lavender, and you're not going to do every flower. Just pick a couple.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to do this little one here.
Am I just accenting and shadowing, or am I recoloring it?
Nope, just shadowing. Okay. So your tips should be pink, your base should be purple.
Okay.
And again, we're not going to do all of them. We're just going to do a couple. I think I did 5 total. And then we're going to go in with the summer shower and pick different ones. Or you could do the same ones. You could just layer them up, all kinds of colors.
Okay.
This one, when I'm adding it, I'm just going in a little bit heavier so that you can tell the difference between the purple and the blue, like the shading difference.
Was Sparkling Rose our base color? Because I over colored one of them. Okay.
And this is like yours is going to be different than mine, is going to be different than the next person's, but that's kind of the whole point. That's why we had to pick out so many different colors for the Copics or the alcohol markers, because I didn't know what color blend we were going to get. And then on the next one, like the next stencil, which you can, once you're to that point, can move on to stencil number 4.
Okay.
It's hard to tell what you're going to shadow with beforehand because you don't know how your color combinations are going to turn out. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So moving over to 4. I'm officially taping, everybody. For those that wanted to pre-tape the panel, I'm going to do it.
Do it.
Heather, I see that you need to chat with me, and I'll be with you in 2 seconds.
I'm going to get a drink of coffee while you do that. This isn't coffee and craft chat.
It can be. It sounds like a good day to me if it's coffee and craft chat.
Oh, good, sir. I needed to make it through my life. Okay.
I just want to remind you all that Heather just brought me some good news. We're doing 2 giveaways today. So we're super excited. We give away our first, I can't talk. I haven't hosted in a while, everybody. Let me get back on the screen for just a second. Hi. I need to wake up a little bit. Maybe I should have some of the coffee that Kelly's having. You're watching Craft Hour. We give away gift cards, and we do that. Hi, Wendy. So glad you're here. We do that by your comments. But the first one we do is we do a little fire drill with a thumbs up. We've got about 142 in here and only 46 thumbs up. So start smashing that thumbs up button. Remember, it makes the algorithm wake up a little bit, just like the coffee that Kelly's drinking. It's the way to go. So let's get that number boosted just a little bit. And after we do that, let's say after we hit 100, we'll give away our first gift card, which our moderator in the sky, Heather, will give for us. Sound good? I've got to get back to coloring. So let's go back to the desktop. All right, we're moving me into stencil number 4. I'm going to catch up just a little bit. We got some more blooms. We got some more shadows here.
So there's just one section that looks like leaves that I added just some green to. And then I chose bubblegum for just a couple of them, but I'm going to go in with some of the other colors that we picked to make them more purple or more blue. So everything makes sense together.
Okay. This looks like it will clean up some of the mistakes that I made, which is good. And I don't want to say mistakes, just some over bleeding on some things that I wanted to correct, which will be awesome. Let me get the view back so I can see where you're going. This is going to be our lavender, you said?
Yep.
Okay. Lavender.
So then once I have the base down, I'm going to start looking for some of the lighter colored flowers that I would want to add shading with this color. So like this one, I'm going to do my detail layer with this purple.
Okay.
And this one, why not?
So considering your first responder and your work that you did with emergency operators and the work that you've done and been given a tremendous amount of accolades for, where did you decide that you had the high courage and the bravery to deal with that? You know, one could argue that the pressure is there and it's not for everybody. Where did you find the courage and where did you find the psychological strength to stay with all of that?
So I have an interesting story, I guess, probably different than a lot of other people's. I got into this because I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I knew all of my friends were going to college and I didn't have a ton of money to go to a 4-year school, and I'm shading it with Seaside and Storm, Jeff, just so you know.
Okay. Great.
I didn't have a ton of money to kind of waste trying to figure out what I wanted to do because my parents were helping me pay for school. And so I went to a community college and I didn't take my core classes like everybody else. I just spent an entire semester taking things that I thought were interesting. And so I took like psychology, I took sociology, I took, what else? Sociology. It was not for me, was not for this girl. And then I took criminal evidence. And once I took criminal evidence, I was like, yep, done. This is it for me. This is what I want to do.
Remind me really quick, the accent blue, what color am I using?
You're using Seaside and Storm is what I used.
Oh, so you're a nice blend of both. I get it. Okay.
And actually, I don't like this middle right here, which is the great thing about the stencils is you can just line it back up and redo it. Isn't that fantastic?
Yeah, I love it.
I love anything that helps me fix my boo-boos. So I didn't know what I wanted to do. I took criminal evidence and I was like, yeah, this is totally for me. And then I started talking to, like I started applying for jobs and nobody was hiring. After I talked to my girlfriend who was dating a local cop at another agency, and he was like, well, we're hiring dispatchers. And I was like, I can't do that job. Like they talk in codes and stuff. And he was like, no, it's all plain language. So I started applying for that. And again, I still could not find a job. So I'm moving on to stencil number 5, and I'm doing the same thing that we've been doing, pinks, purples, and blues, just in various shades. And so when I applied at a bunch of them, this was probably like April of 2004. I could not find anyone who was hiring. In August, one department called me back, and I had no experience, nothing. I had no idea what I was doing at all. None, zero, zip. And so they called me. I went in for an interview. They offered me the job. And that was the department that I stayed with. I stayed with them. I was with them for 10 years. And then I worked other departments working part-time. And then we unfortunately ended up regionalizing. So we didn't have dispatch in the building. It was like, it was kind of like it was shipped off and now it was a paid for service. So I quit and I went to another department because I figured I wasn't going to wait for them to, I wasn't going down with the sinking ship. And then after I was at the other department for probably like 6 months, they called me back and said they were going to keep 2 full-time positions at the police station full-time, doing case management in the detective bureau. And so they offered me my full-time job, no break in service, all my vacation and everything like that. So I went back. And then when the pandemic hit, like the game plan was always to go back to dispatching because I missed it. But when the pandemic hit, we all kind of started losing hours. They laid off the part-timers. Like I started getting really nervous I wasn't going to have a job. So my husband and I talked about it, and the police station that I was dispatching for part-time offered me a full-time position. And so then I moved and I went there full-time. And then once I had Caitlin, we decided to try it part-time. And so that's what I'm doing now. I'm a full-time crafter.
I love that. Are you loving having sort of this new chapter in your life start?
So yes and no. What I have discovered is I really like being creative for a living. It is a struggle for me, and I think it's a struggle for any parent that chooses to either work from home or be a stay-at-home parent. I struggle not having any adult interaction.
Okay.
Like not leaving my house. I'm always in my jams. You know what I'm saying? Which sounds really wonderful and honestly is not too bad. But so it's nice still dispatching part-time because it gives me a break out of the house to go be something besides a wife and a mom. All right, so now I'm going in with the sunshine, not there, for the centers a little bit. I'm not going to go too heavy, especially where it's purple because they're complementary colors. I don't want them to be ugly. And I'll fix that up with my markers after the fact. So just going to put like a little base of yellow down and then go back in for these little detail spots with another, like a darker blue or purple. So Storm and probably Regal Kiss. Just a little bit darker, a little bit more interesting.
Okay.
Tell you about your furniture refinishing. Oh, I don't even do it anymore. Isn't that sad? Like we had Caitlin, and so my husband and I started doing furniture refinishing because we were too cheap. We were too cheap to buy it. So we started doing it on the side, and then we did it to donate it, and then we did it because we had actual customers. But then when Caitlin came along, there's just, you got to pick and choose. There isn't time for everything in the day. So we're hoping to maybe get back to it after she's a little bit older. But yeah, our tailor-made home had a good run.
I love that. All right, so there's just a couple of things I don't love. I don't love that huge bloom, but I tried to correct it. But maybe we can hide it with some of the alphas, but that's sort of where I am. Are we done with the stencils? Are we just going to accent now? Go ahead, Kelly. I'm sorry.
That's okay. What don't you love?
Just that fat baby right there, this fat bloom here.
Yeah, I don't love mine either. Don't worry. Markers.
Okay. Markers. Okay.
All right. So yeah, I think we are done adding the shading. I'm really happy with the color palette. I think it's super pretty.
Great.
So now, Jeff, now's our time. Where we're really going to
shine. We can do this.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're going to start with this yellow just to get the centers out of the way. And so we're just going to go in, and again, like I added my shading as if the light source was in the top right corner. So all of my shadows are down and to the left. So that's how I'm going to add the shading to the centers. And I'm not going to completely cover it up. I'm just going to do like a little line. For some of them, it's just going to be like a little half moon.
Okay. Very exciting, everybody. This is very
we're getting Jeff out of his comfort zone.
Yeah.
So then once those are done, I'm going to go in with my lightest green.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to start adding some shading. So if you watch my videos normally, I always say any point where two things meet, they're shadows, and any point where one object lays on top of the other, they're shadows. So we're also going to add some definition. So like here for this one, I'm just going to do a little flick of color down the center just to give it a little bit more shape. And then I'm going to add some shading down here. And then the same thing. So this one already has the lines in there for us, which is perfect. We're just going to follow right along with those lines. Here, there appears to be one leaf on top of another. So I'm going to follow this line all the way up and then kind of flick out from there. Going to add some more lines to give us a little bit more definition. How you doing, Jeff? Okay?
I'm being very brave. Everything's fine.
I'm very proud of you. And this is great, especially if you're uncomfortable with markers, because most of the hard work is done with the stenciling. It puts down all this really beautiful color. And so then all you have to go in is, just look at the shadows.
Right, right.
And you don't have to shade every single one. You can pick and choose because, these are going to be behind our alphas. So nobody's going to be looking at the flowers. Just
the detail won't necessarily, yeah. Okay.
So just trying to create some dimension and some contrast so they don't look super flat behind our flowers.
Okay. Avra, I'm glad that you're seeing my bravery, which is good. I appreciate it. Susan shares that she loves learning about shadows. And Susan B. Cards, I've got to tell you, not only do you love learning about shadows, you can keep making them because guess what? You're our first winner. How about that? That's always a good time, right? You're a first winner of a gift card. Be sure to reach out to Leah at Pink Press Studio so that she has an opportunity to send you that gift card. Heather will put it in the comments to know where you email. So Susan B. Cards, congratulations. That's awesome. All right.
So we're switching over to our dark green once we have the light green down. And you're not going to completely cover up the light green, but you are going to go almost directly over it.
Okay.
Because again, we're not coloring this by itself. There's already all this really good color down. So just deepening up those shadows so that we get a lot of dimension and variation. And also congratulations to Susan. Good job.
Yay, Susan. Participation wins.
And then
Roberta, thank you. I love being out of my comfort zone. That's good. Sin is here. Hi, Sin.
So because we're not, like, we already have all this really great color down, I'm not even going to go back in and blend these out. Like, I'm just going to let them be what they are.
Okay.
So once I'm done with the greens, then we picked out a couple of, let me just move these over so you can see. We picked out a couple of pinks, purples, and blues because that's what we were blending with. So I'm just going to use the ones that make sense for the colors. So like this bloom here, it makes sense to use some purples and some pinks. This one here makes sense to use some purples and some blues. So it just depends on your ink blending, what color you're going to use to shade. Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah.
And if you want them to be a little bit more blended, you can start with your darkest color and then go over with your lightest, and it will blend it out more if that's the kind of the look that you're going for.
Okay, great.
Here, we talked about these large blooms. You didn't like yours, I didn't like mine. So in order to make that blend a little bit better, I'm going to color right over top of it to get it to blend into my flower just a little bit more, so that I'm a bigger fan of how it looks.
Great idea. Okay, that definitely does help.
And again, we're not trying to be super detailed with it because we are going to tuck them. They're not going to be, the die cut is really going to be the star of the show. These are our supporting actors.
Okay, awesome. Shelley says that she's never thought about using Copics over blending stencils. She can't wait to try this now, which is great. And Tiffany reminds us that the magic of Copics is that they do blend. Nina Solar White is always a good cardstock to use. Thanks for that, Tiffany. We appreciate that.
Nina Solar White is what I am using.
Great. All right, I'm a little bit at the, I need to stop on the head memento, so I'm going to stop my coloring before I go too far. So I'm going to go back to saying hi to everybody for just a minute while you catch up, and I'm going to try to ignore that large blob bruise that is on. But we're going to tuck it, like you said. We're going to tuck it, so everything is going to be fine. Everything is going to be just fine. Hey, everybody, you're watching the Craft Hour with Pink Fresh Studio. I'm your host, Mr. Jeff Lindberg. If you're new to us and you don't know me, be sure to connect on Instagram. At the end of the show, we'll make sure that Kelly shares her ways to connect so that she has plenty of you saying hello for the first time, too. Hi, Callie. Don't look at my ink blending. Let's just wait for the die cut and then let's tuck, Callie. So glad to have you there. We're so glad. Hi, Sharon. I'm so glad that you're having fun. Robin says, I've never even thought about coloring over the stencil. Yeah, always a good amount of learning happening here at the Craft Hour, which is great. Keep those thumbs ups happening because they help us do more here. And we want to make sure that we have plenty of engagement in the replay. So if you're watching on the replay, be sure to say hello. We follow along as well. Julie Urban shares that she loves color blending, but still has no desire to invest in markers. That's why I went with the Ohu markers, my friend. I think they are worth your investment as far as it makes it just a little bit easier. All right. Do you mind if I move over to die cutting? Am I going too fast?
Go right ahead.
Okay, awesome. Of course, the set that we're doing is called Whimsical Blooms, and it comes with a matching die set, which is good. With about 15 minutes left in the show, I hope that y'all are having a good time. So many options that you can make. And as Kelly and I were sharing, we chose not to do the washi, but the set does come with a washi set and gives you a lot of versatility and options if you don't feel confident in coloring. or picking your colors for that matter. This set does have a lot of stencils to it, so you can even stick to doing sort of a color family, which of course Pink Fresh Studio makes really easy for you as well. So I'm going to line these up. It's always awesome how after you die cut, things start looking a whole lot better. You know what I mean? You think to yourself, I've really messed this up. And then you see them individually and see the possibilities of the layout, and you kind of get a little more pep in your step again, you know?
All right. On to the die cutting, so that we can build this little guy. And actually, my die cutting machine is off camera, so I'm going to have to take them over there and run them through.
Got it. We'll see you in a second. All right, so let's get these cut out so that we can have fun with the layout. Well, Donna, thank you very much. I am out of my comfort zone, but just like everything here on Craft Hour, Pink Fresh products, as well as our amazing co-host, help gain confidence. I hope that's exactly what you felt while watching the show. Craft Hour also has to serve its purpose of making you feel like you can do more by watching me, which is the whole point. So I'm glad that you are sensing that. Avra, I know Kelly just made everything pop so well with her accenting, sort of the trick of today's lesson, which is good. All right, let's take a look at these closer on camera. As you can see, like I said, when you die cut them, suddenly they take out a nice little life of their own, which is awesome. So this little guy, how they came out, which is going to be fine. Great colors that Kelly picked too, which is good.
Okay.
Really happy with this one. And then this is just my kind of big bruise one, but again, we're not going to worry too much about it. But there's our final one, which is good. So Kelly and I did a little die cutting for the alpha, but to show you off the alpha just a little bit, this is a familiar typeface for you, which is awesome. But the magic on this one comes with that shadow line that is found and gives it just a little bit more character, which is awesome. So the Jeff Alpha is a familiar one that blends well, but you can get a tremendous amount of texture with the lines that you see there, which is great. Kelly had us do some pre-work by pre-cutting, so those are going to be ready to go on my end. Kelly, per your request, I did not put them together, but I did do black bases as well as white actual letters.
What did I do there? This. Oh my gosh, I thought I lost my sentiment. That would have been all bad. So here is why I had you not put them together, because I want the flowers to be right up against the white, but I don't want to have such an empty design, and I knew I needed the shadows. So we're going to adhere the shadows down over. We're going to do the shadows first. So we're going to get them lined up, and the easiest way to line up letters, just so you're aware, is count them and start in the middle. So then they're always lined up. So here there's 6 letters. So we do have to accommodate for the fact that the I is smaller and the N and the D are larger. So even though we're going to look here on the ends, so I'm just using my glass mat to count. I'm 1, 2, 3. I'm on the third one. 1, 2, 3. My D is too far over. So I can scoot them all. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm in the 3, and now we're much more even. And then in order to get them actually lined up, I will start with my E and my I and then adhere them from there out. If you're like, I can't line these things up, I struggle with alphas, no fear. Then make them wonky on purpose. Be intentional about making them wonky, and it will look still put together.
That is an awesome tip. Yeah, everybody share your favorite alpha tips as we do this together.
Nice and straight. There we go. I lost my chat. I don't know why. My iPad was like, we don't want you to see what people are saying.
Well, I don't want you to worry, but they're not talking about you. Don't worry. They're not saying bad things.
I'm nosy and I want to know what the people are saying. So you don't like coloring? Is dyes your preferred crafting, Jeff?
Yes, very much so. Very much so.
I struggle with them. I like them and I think that they're very pretty and I love the different things that they can do. But it takes me longer to create when I use dyes.
Okay. Why do you
It's so
think that
funny how
is?
everybody's so different.
What is yeah, we all have a different style. What do you think your brain is doing there? Do you think it's because you do beautiful layouts? It's not that.
Yeah, I'm not really. I was actually talking to a friend recently, and she said, I think you just don't enjoy the process as much. And I think that there is something to that. I think my brain is just like, but we could be coloring.
Okay, got it.
All right, so now I have my shadows all down. I see Jeff is using a ruler for his. I eyeballed mine. And I think I did okay. I think they're pretty evenly spaced.
This is where walking and chewing gum really comes into play. Hosting, technically watching your show, and then designing in front of everybody while lining everything up. This is where it gets a little harried sometimes, but we got this. We got this.
Oh, let's go with these little guys. Let's see.
Now, does the R have a cutout in the center that maybe I didn't do?
It does, I believe, but I didn't do any of my centers because I knew we were going to put the flowers over them. So I wasn't worried. Yep, wasn't worried about it.
All right, I hope you're all engaging Heather in the comments, because if you think that we can look up and look at comments right now, you're crazy. So I hope that y'all aren't trying to get my attention.
So I'm actually going to cut my die, my flowers in half so that I can have a little bit more where I want them. So I'm just going to cut this one right down the middle.
Okay, I'm going to go to a better shot of you so I can see what to do here. Stand by.
So this one I cut right down the middle so I could have some at the top and some at the bottom.
I see what we're doing. I'm catching up. I'm getting us now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm a little off, but it's nothing that the eye can see right away, and a flower might correct that. So
I think I'm good with that. I might not even, Jeff, we might not even need this big one, man.
Good.
We might not even need it.
With full respect to the designer who did this for Pink Fresh, good.
So now, you guys know I like to check and double check. I know we're running on time here. I just got to check and make sure I'm good with the way that they're looking.
So my white is going to go over it. And so I see what we're doing. I see what we're doing here. Okay. Let's get y'all back to a 2-shot so you can see both of us, just in case I'm not getting it perfect. This is a very fun little concept. I don't think I've ever done something like this before.
So this one I think is pretty cute. I think the black helps break it up a little bit, which I like.
Yeah.
Do I want to use these or any part of these? Down here, maybe? No, I think it's good. So the only other thing that I would do, and I don't think we're going to have time in our hour, is I would probably trim this down and then mat it on black just to make my white space a little bit smaller.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I don't think we're going to have time. So we're just going to have to commit to it the way it is. And I'd also add gems, you know, because I love them.
Right. Everybody, don't you love learning a new like technique of something that you can try? Like, this is a technique that makes me want to do other things with it. And Kelly introduced it to us. So that's the best part of craft hours, that you get inspired to take what you have or to do the set differently from the designer who was on with me.
Brandon, for sure, eggplant would be beautiful. A deep purple, a navy. You guys know I love blue. Blue is my boyfriend. Those would be beautiful colors if you didn't love the black. But that is, like Jeff said, the great thing about doing a new technique is, like, you know, maybe you really love the idea of using the flowers and the letters together, but you would have arranged them this way or done it this way. Like, that's so fun to just make it your own, which I hope that you do.
All right, so you're okay with me heading in with the white
yes, yeah, I'm just adhering them as I go, just straight across.
Okay.
You could also like cut multiples of these and double stack them so they were nice and thick. That would be beautiful as well.
Two minutes left in the show. It's going to be like the Great British Bake Off. We know that this is bound for a slimline base that we'll put together after we photograph this for you all. But we probably won't get to it in the show because we want to take time to really get these adhered nicely, and we also want to both say hi to you. Leah's here too. Hi, Leah. Leah, I love it too. I mean, come on. It's got a nice little shadow dimension to it. It's flexible. It can be both masculine and feminine. Great versatility to it.
Gluing, gluing, gluing. So fast, gluing so quickly.
All right, if Heather wants to go ahead and start looking for another winner, when we come back, we will come back to front facing camera. I will announce it and let y'all know who got it. It's always good to do two in one show. That's awesome.
Okay. I'm gonna trim. I'm trimming mine, Jeff.
Okay.
I got to. It needs it.
All right, we're so happy to announce that Dina Carroll is our second winner today. Dina, congratulations. Watch the comments so you can know where to write in and get your gift card, and maybe you'll buy the Jeff Alpha. Let's add that last letter here.
You're doing good. You're going to make it.
Make it, friend. We're going to make it. Okay. There we go. Awesome.
Oh, there she is. There she is. So much prettier. Too much white space. And
what a fun card. Awesome.
We need to put on our little sentiment.
Yeah, a little carriage return here. Let's get that ready. Which one did you pick?
I went with the "You are amazing in every way."
Yeah, perfect for the sentiment, which is good.
I know. Like any of the sentiments in this one are just really good. And so they would all pair really, really well with the word friend. But I did like this one.
Kelly, tell everybody your tip on how to pre-decide which words will fit on the card base you're creating. What tip did you come up with?
So I actually copied on the back of the Alpha. Pink Fresh very generously put the letters all on the back so you could see them. And so I put it in my copier and made a copy of it and then trimmed them down so that I could lay them out. I don't even know where I put them now. So that I could lay them out on my card base and get my spacing correct before I even had to took the time to die cut anything.
Right.
All right. So now we're popped up there, friend. You are amazing in every way. Aren't you just the cutest thing ever? Cute, cute, cute. How long does it usually take you to make a card, Jeff?
It can take almost a half a day sometimes. I'm not really in it to churn and burn, and I take a lot of self-doubt that takes away some of the speed and efficiency.
No, you're so talented. Don't you do that to yourself.
There is mine. Yeah, that dimension on the alphas really does help the piece pop, which is good. Awesome. All right. Kel, what do you think? You ready to come back to your front-facing camera?
Yeah, I think I am.
All right, I'm going to kick you out on this one, and I'll see you back on camera in just a second. All right, everybody, let's get her off camera with this one and bring her back in and admit. And then let's get me back on camera. That was fun. Hey, everybody, it's Craft Hour, and Kelly's here. Look, we had a really good time. We were introducing a lot of new products. We were part of a release. We had Heather moderating in the sky. We had 2 winners, which had a fantastic gift card set, which was awesome. And we made a card. Kelly, I was trying to consider and trying to remember, did you come down with the ladies and we had went to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party together?
That was not me.
Not you. Then where did we meet? Did we meet in Ohio?
We did meet in Ohio. We met at Create.
Okay, got it.
We went to the Chick-fil-A together.
That's what it was. Absolutely. We found a mall. We were all dying. We were so hungry. Who was with us on that? There was another
it was me
dude.
And you and Greg from Concord and 9th and
Yes.
Danielle Walls, who used to own Neat and Tangled, but has since gotten out of the game.
Okay. I was wondering what happened to Danielle and Neat and Tangled. Yeah, I met her during Create as well. Simon says Stamp has Create coming up soon. We can go do that. And yeah, Greg and I met for the first time. Do you know that Greg and I just spent a weekend together in my first retreat with Kathy Rakusin? It was very fun. Jennifer McGuire and
did you come up in March?
No. I haven't been back to Ohio, but I can't wait. I'm going to come up for the next Simon Says Create, which
okay.
See you there, I guess. But Greg and the crew all came to Walt Disney World. So Jennifer, Christina, and Greg were all at Walt Disney World. It was fun to see
so
them.
Fun.
But that's right. We broke bread at a mall. It was a mall that had a food court, and we were all starving, and we tried to stuff our faces before we had to be back for the evening events. That's right.
Yes, Create is so fun, but so much work.
It is. You're right. Because you're right. You were working. I was just playing. I didn't have to have half the pressure that you did, but that was a really good time. I'm glad that Heidi's doing that again. Friends, you could always catch replays of the craft hour, and let's find out where we can find our friend Kelly when she's not with us over at Pink Fresh Studio. Kelly, where can people find you, and what companies can they find you with?
So I guest design for including Pink Fresh, guest design for them as well. And then I have you guys probably know I have a YouTube, I have an Instagram, and my blog isn't too terribly active except for blog hops. And then, working for Honeybee, for Hero Arts, I guest design for Gina K, for Pink Fresh Studios, sometimes for My Favorite Things, just, anybody whose stuff I love.
Anybody who's everybody, which is great. This was a great card, and you are a friend indeed. Thank you so much for being on the show with me. We've been trying to plan this for you all for a long time, by the way. Kelly and I's schedule, as well as the production schedule for Craft Hour, got in the way, but we finally got Kelly right before the holidays that she goes off and celebrates for the first time. She can break Thanksgiving old habits and get into new ones. I'm so excited that y'all will have a great week ahead, Kelly.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It was super fun. I loved being here, and it was great to see you again.
Yeah, indeed. Until Ohio, my friend. Everybody have a great holiday weekend. Go out and get that Jeff Alpha. And again, with the whimsical die was super fun. So many options with it, and the washi tape is always available to you too. Congratulations to our 2 winners. Thank you to Heather for moderating. And have a great weekend, everybody. Craft Hour, we'll see you soon. Connect with us, both of us. We want to hear from you. We'll talk to you on Instagram, social media, and all the platforms. Until then, have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks. Bye, Cal.